Sallie Casey and William Bridges Thayer were Kentuckians. They met and married in Kansas City and lived there. And a number of years later, he became the partner in the Emery Bird Thayer department store, the very poshest department store in the Midwest, probably. He unfortunately died young. Sallie was a widow. And since she had a special interest in art, she started to travel and to buy a few things. So that was her beginning interest in really becoming a serious collector. She obviously had a collecting gene. And she started talking about donating her collection, and she had this wonderful idea that she would donate it in memory of her husband. So it became the William Bridges Thayer Memorial Collection.
So Sallie Casey Thayer wasn't intentionally collecting for a university and university art museum. However, she in the end decided in 1917 that her collection would best be suited for the University of Kansas.
What made this gift distinctive was the rich variety of materials in it, so that it includes not only fine paintings, but also earlier materials, British ceramics, Korean ceramics, Japanese prints, aspects of decorative arts, so that it provides a broad basis for the collections as they have evolved over the years since 1917.
And I think she very intentionally picked a university because she saw her collection as important for educational purposes.
The Spencer Museum of Art is focused on education, and I think in so many ways, Sallie Casey Thayer's gift gave us that mandate. She gave us the gift in order that we would use it for education.
What I find really intriguing is that it was intended for students from all disciplines, and she continued collecting after the initial gift in 1917 so as to make sure there would be works that would be of interest to students from all areas of study. And I think that has really shaped the kind of university museum that the Spencer Museum of Art is today.
What makes her gift special, I believe, is the opportunity it provides for students and their teachers to work with the unique objects of various cultural moments of various national origin.
Personally, I think that getting to be one-on-one with a work of art lets you become more creative and more curious. It lets you get to know the piece of art, the artwork, and even the artist on a more personal level than you can just flipping through a textbook or looking at a lecture slide.
And I think that was obvious in the way that Sallie Casey Thayer collected. She believed, I'm certain, in the power of an object to express an idea more succinctly than a long paragraph. So in some ways, the object stands there as a testimony to education. I think the collection contributes to research at the University of Kansas in some unexpected ways. It has always been a source of research for art and art history, and in fact, that was part of Sallie Casey Thayer's idea. She wanted students to come in and see examples of works that would inspire them in their own studies. And still, today, this is, I think, one of our major roles, is to present the objects that can be primary sources for students and faculty for all kinds of research.
I think that the Thayer collection continues to be a resource and a rich resource for new research directions, and continues after these 100 years to pose new questions, and as well as give us answers into things we never even thought to ask. It's a continuing dynamic force in the museum.
So while Sallie Casey Thayer, I think, was very aware of art, art history, and history in general, we are now reaching out to the sciences and all different disciplines, and we find her collections as relevant as ever.
I think that now that it's 100 years since those train cars full of objects came to the museum, that people are still looking at them, that students are learning about collecting and about the objects in classes. It's very gratifying to know that the collection has lasted so well.
She certainly, I think, would appreciate the way in which the collection has evolved over the decades in terms of its global expansion, in terms of its embrace of various cultural moments across eons of time. And that, I think, is a good legacy by which to remember her remarkable gift.
Almost on any given day, wandering through the Spencer Museum galleries, I'm able to witness someone having a very personal experience with a work of art, quietly in a space of contemplation and reflection. So there is a sense in which this collection of Sallie Casey Thayer's from the very beginning was personal. It was intimate. It came from her love of things and her interest in the world. And that spirit, I think, resides very strongly in the museum today.